Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Shrota Shri Srimad Abhayacharanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Nam Acharya Shri Haidas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokopina Shyam Kanda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulasi Devi Ki. Another 2 or 3 lectures. So, Etavat Eva Jignasyam Tattva Jignasunam Atmanah Anvaya Yatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvadam Etavadeva Jignasyam Tattva Jignasunatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvadam Etavad eva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanah anvaya vyatirekabhyam yat syat sarvatra sarvada etavad eva jignasyam etavad eva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada Etavadeva Jignasyam Etavad Eva Jignasyam Tattva Jignasunatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada. Please repeat. Jignasyam Jnanasvanatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Sarvatra Sarvada Etavadeva Jignasyam Tattva Jignasunatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada Etavad Eva Jignasyam Tattva Jignasunatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada Etavad Eva Jignasyam Tattva Jignasunatmanah Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada. Mataji. Etavad eva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanah anvaya vyatirekabhyam yat syat sarvatra sarvada etavat. Up to this. Evam, certainly. Jignasyam, is to be inquired. Tattva, the absolute truth. Jigyasunam, by the student. Atmanaham, of the self. Anvayam, directly. Yatirekabhyam, indirectly. Yet, whatever. Syat, it may be. Sarvatram, in all space and time. Sarvadam, in all circumstances. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A person who is searching after the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, most certainly, said most, must, that's what I was saying, it must be a spelling error here. It says most over here. Must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. Purport. I want to read a few paragraphs from here and then speak about this, and then continue on with the next. So, to unfold the mystery of Bhakti Yoga as it is explained in the previous verse is the ultimate stage of all inquiries or the highest objective for the inquisitive. Everyone is searching after self-realization in different ways, by Karma Yoga, by Jnana Yoga, by Dhyana Yoga, by Raja Yoga, by Bhakti Yoga, etc. To engage in self-realization is a responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. One who is developed in consciousness certainly makes inquiries into mystery of the self, of the cosmic situation, of the problems of life, in all spheres and fields, social, political, economic, cultural, religious, moral, etc., and in their different branches. But here, the goal of all such inquiries is explained. The Vedanta Sutra philosophy begins with this inquiry about life, and the Bhagavatam answers such inquiries up to this point, or the mystery of all inquiries. Lord Brahma wanted to be perfectly educated by the personality of Godhead, and here is the answer by the Lord. Finished in 4 nutshell verses, from Aham Eva to this verse, Etavad Eva. This is the end of all self-realization processes. Men do not know that the ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, due to being bewildered by the glaring reflection in the darkness, and as such, everyone is entering into the darkest region of material existence, driven by the uncontrolled senses. The whole material existence has sprung up because of sense gratification, desires based principally on the sex desire. And the result is that, in spite of all advancement of knowledge, the final goal of all activities of the living entities is sense gratification. But here is the real goal of life, and everyone should know it by the inquiries put before a bona fide spiritual master, expert in the science of Bhakti Yoga, or from a living personality of Bhagavatam life. Everyone is engaged in various kinds of scriptural inquiries, but the Srimad Bhagavatam gives answers to all of the various students of self-realization. This ultimate objective of life is not to be searched out without great labor or perseverance. One who is imbued with such sincere inquiries must ask the bona fide spiritual master in the disciplic succession from Brahmaji, and that is the direction given here. Because the mystery was disclosed before Brahmaji by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the mystery of all such inquiries regarding self-realization must be put before such a spiritual master who is directly the representative of the Lord. Acknowledged in that disciplic succession, such a bona fide spiritual master is able to clear up the whole thing by evidence from the revealed scriptures, both direct and indirect. Although everyone is free to consult the revealed scriptures in this connection, one still requires the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, and that is the direction of this verse. The bona fide spiritual master is the most confidential representative of the Lord, and one must receive direction from the spiritual master in the same spirit that Brahmaji received it from the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. The bona fide spiritual master in that bona fide chain of disciplic succession never claims to be the Lord himself, although such a spiritual master is greater than the Lord in the sense that he can deliver the Lord by his personally realized experience. The Lord is not to be found simply by education or by a good fertile brain, but surely he can be found by the sincere student through the transparent medium of the bona fide spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utafpada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Vishakan Matamsha He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swamanite Namane Harijanagana Badi Gnana Karmanda Hari Prakatita Para Bhaktir Bhakti Siddhanta Kantihi Vinaya Nikara Lakshmir Nimna Medera Gamyo Bhuvi Jayati Vikaso Bhakti Purva Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamaniti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmir Yasya Chivakshisi Yasyasya Hridaye Samvitam Nrsimham Aham Bhaje Nama Om Vishnu Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Yasya Deve Para Bhaktir Yata Deve Tata Gurau Tasyaite Katita Hyata Prakashante Mahatmanaha Etavad eva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanaha anvaya vyatirekabhyam yat syat sarvatra sarvada. A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this point in all circumstances, in all space and time, both directly and indirectly. So we're seeing over here in this seminar the whole time we've been speaking about three different aspects of knowledge. What are the three different aspects of knowledge? And what is the definition of knowledge given by Srila Prabhupada? Understanding what is matter, what is spirit, and who's the controller of both. So, in these three verses that we just read, and that we went over with, hair-splitting details, we can understand from these that we can understand what is matter and what is spirit. That's very clear. And then in the last verse, Krishna speaks about, all three, of course, Krishna's personality is stressed. But, a very explicit, excruciating detail is given, what is matter, what is spirit, and who's the control of both. But here now, in this verse, we can see that the ultimate goal of devotional service is being described. So, Krishna is telling Lord Brahma over here that any sincere person who wants to inquire into the nature of the absolute truth, he must inquire up to this point. What is this point? He must inquire all the way up to the point of love of God. This is a very important thing to understand, that we must inquire everything all the way up to the point of love of God. And then when we do so, that is the goal of life. That many people say, what are the four goals of the Vedas? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. But Lord Chaitanya says, Prema Pumarto Mahan. He says that love of Godhead is way above even moksha. We can see religions of this age, we were listening to this in the lecture by Suhotra Maharaj, where he was speaking about how, by the perverted reflection of what's written in Vedas and misunderstanding of what's actually going on, many religions, many Abrahamic religions, especially in some, we can see that to be celibate is more or less a sin. To be celibate is a sin. To restrain from sense gratification is more or less a sin. That you could do some fast and all this, but the goal of life is to enjoy. That's why they may have some perverted reflection of dharma. Then, their goal is artha and kama. Their goal is to make wealth and to have material enjoyment. But the Vedic literature, even from a glance, helps us understand that moksha is needed, But then when we read the Srimad Bhagavatam and we inquire submissively from a bona fide spiritual master, we understand over here that prema, love of God, is the ultimate goal of the living entity. Lord Chaitanya says life's ultimate goal. So, to unfold the mystery of Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate stage of all inquiries or the highest objective for the inquisitive. And then, Prabhupada goes on to say people search after different ways, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. To engage in self-realization is a responsibility of every living entity developed in consciousness. Every living entity, this is the responsibility of every living entity, to engage in self-realization. And every living entity should definitely, that's the responsibility, and it is definitely the responsibility of a person who's attained the human form of life. 11.9.27. Can someone who has Veda Base just pull it up? Otherwise, it'll take forever to refer to verses. In 11.9.27, the verse says, Labdvasa durlabham idam bahusambhavanti manusham artadam anityam apihadira turnam yatetana patet anumrityu yavan nishreyasaya vishaya kalu sarvatasyat. Where Krishna tells, he says that this human 11.9.29, sorry, okay. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves this rare human form of life, which although temporary offers one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. So we understand over here that this human form of life is so rare, and the whole purpose of the human form of life is to take to Krishna consciousness seriously, and attain love of God in this life. Because we never know what's going to happen next. We never know. We may be like, we may be half-baked devotees where we think, I'll practice devotional service. A little bit at least. I'll practice a little devotional service and also enjoy my senses, There's no need to be so fanatical. So, love of God, all these things. Okay, that's nice. I guess we'll eventually attain it. But while we're in this material world, let us also enjoy. Let's enjoy a little bit and also perform bhakti like the Hindus do. My spiritual master gives this example of what is Hinduism. He says that Hinduism is a very elaborate Vedic excuse to avoid surrender to Krishna. Would you like a chair, Prabhu? Okay. It's a very elaborate Vedic excuse to avoid surrender to Krishna. So we can also, come into this human form of life, and then, we may even be introduced to Krishna consciousness. And then, we may think, anyway, what's the big deal? We can gratify our senses, and we can also do a little bhakti. We can do all these things. But if we were to read the Srimad Bhagavatam, if we were to read Srila Prabhupada's books, the urgency of taking to Krishna consciousness will be awakened in our heart. Even more unfortunate are those who read Prabhupada's books, who do all these things, who understand that Prabhupada wants us to urgently take to Krishna consciousness, but they just don't do it. And because of this, we can see, the Shastra says, Bahujanma kariyadi Shravan Kirtan tabutana paya Krishna pade premadan. That, we could do Shravan Kirtan for millions and millions of births, but if we commit the 10 offenses which are to be avoided while chanting the holy names of Krishna, then at that point of time, what happens is we will not get love of God even if we are practicing for millions of births. So Prabhupada is breaking this whole thing down, and this purport is he's saying that all these things people usually do for the purpose of sex life. We read in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.8, Pumsasriyam itani bhavametam tayo raho hridaya granthi mahahu ato grihashyeta sutapta vitay janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Translation. The attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. When we try to enjoy this material world, and we try to think, it's so amazing, there's so many amazing things, fantastic things out here for us to enjoy. And Krishna is there. Krishna is also one of the objects for us to enjoy. That the living entity comes to the temple, and he sees Krishna, and he says, wow, okay, here's the deity. Okay, he looks very beautiful. Anyway, I'm glad he presented himself for my enjoyment. Okay, fantastic. I'm coming. I'm coming to perform devotional service. But if the living entity has this severe, insidious misconception that devotional service is meant for my enjoyment, that living entity will suffer. The living entity will not get the results of spiritual life. You say, well, we're not suffering so well. I know, for example, I myself grew up with a few people in New York, and, they were both, I think, disciples of Srila Prabhupada. They were disciples of Prabhupada. So they're the children of Prabhupada's disciples. Sorry, they're children of Prabhupada's disciples. And you can just by looking at them, I could tell, wow, they have such beautiful features. Both the man and the woman have such beautiful features. When you have beautiful voices, play the mridanga so nicely. It's like, they know, they know all these, other Prabhupada disciples. Like, for example, on our way to North Carolina during the Shravanam Kirtanam camp, one devotee told us, which we didn't know whether we should laugh or cry. So there were like some senior devotees who we were going to meet there. He said, yeah, I know them very well. I used to play basketball with them. Should we cry or laugh? Should we cry or laugh? Better to laugh. At least we can get a laugh out of it, right? But, we can see that, I used to play basketball with them. Oh, wow, okay. So, yeah, you used to do all this. Okay. That's amazing. But the point is lost. Prabhupada speaks about not playing frivolous sports. Prabhupada speaks about this. I remember once I came to a festival, I'm not going to mention where, and over there, right in front of the temple, they had like some open lot, or they had a park across the temple or something like that. And all the children, who came there, the Gurukulis, the children of devotees, all of them were playing soccer. They were playing soccer, and they were like, just like really flexing in front of the Matajis. And I was really surprised. Some of them were even wearing saffron. They were playing soccer, and they were like, saying, oh yeah, I'll definitely get with her, and all this kind of stuff. And, and I was brand new, actually. It was like 2 months in that this devotee took me to this festival. And I was brand new, and I was so confused. I was saying, what the heck is going on here, I thought, like, Krishna consciousness is serious, but I guess, like, there's another option. And I remember they all came up to me and he said, they said, I heard you go to NYU. I said, yeah. He said, do you go to parties? I said, yeah. I mean, I stopped, a month ago, but like, I go, he said, we're all going to be visiting New York when we come. Do you think you can take us to a party? And I was thinking, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what is this? It is such a joke. Such a joke. What is going on here? That we come so close, we attain the human form of life after many, many births and deaths. Then, even more rare is to come into the association of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, and to be part of Prabhupada's movement, and to have the opportunity of reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and have this gift of the valuable human form of life in where we're so close to a pure devotee and his teachings, and whoever follows him faithfully can impart that knowledge unto us. But here we are asking if we can go to a party. But I said, Prabhu, but like, they don't follow the 4 regulative principles. I say, that's fine. We will just come and see. Curiosity kills the cat, and it surely killed many cats. So we should understand how rare it is for us to attain this human form of life. And this may seem very, very harsh, very heavy, and all these things, but the Bhagavatam is like that. The Bhagavatam is simultaneously heavy and the most liberating at the same time. The Bhagavatam is very bitter and the sweetest at the same time. Why? It's bitter, why? Pull this up. Syat Krishnama Charit. It is a nectar of instruction, verse number 7. Syat Krishnama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya Pitto Patapta Rasanatsi Narochikanu Kintva Darad Anudinam Kalusaiva Jishta Swadvi Kramad Bhavati Tad Gadamula Hantri. The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet, like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. So, yes, chanting holy names is very nice, but how will we chant the holy names if we don't understand Krishna and truth? How will we understand? How many people are actually hearing Bhagavatam class every day? Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Seva, how many people are doing that every day? How many people get first and second initiation and also drink coffee at the same time? How many people do this? You see, like the movement is already degrading. It's already getting diluted. There's an amazing quote of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that I'm going to send to you, Prabhu, and you can post it up there. We can say everything I'm speaking is exactly in accordance with the purport over here. And, okay. This is a quote from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Sajjana Toshini. I think it's the 18th issue of a magazine. There's the issues of a magazine, right? 18th issue, chapter 2, text number 13 and 14. Or not chapter, but whatever, I don't know exactly how to get it out. But okay, there you go. Okay. So yeah, copy paste that onto your notes. Okay, awesome. So over here, this quote of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is, after the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those faithful to him kept apart from non-devotees to avoid contamination. Is that visible? No, it's not visible. Increase it. The Mataji is saying it's not. There's an IT guy right behind you. Is that visible? Yeah. After the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those faithful to him kept apart from non-devotees to avoid contamination. Seeing this, the personality of Kali sent his representatives in disguise to pollute the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Posing as Vaishnavas, they spread their wicked doctrines and appeared so intelligent and so devoted that only pure devotees could detect their real identity. Nice story, huh? It's a good story. Wow, this happened during the time of Lord Chaitanya. Definitely not happening right now. Illusion, Maya. We should always be on guard against such things. We must always be on guard against such things. Why? Because these Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in another place says that just like when there's a person and he turns his face towards the sun, there's a shadow produced behind him. Just like that, wherever pure bhakti goes, wherever Shuddha Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati goes, Prakrita Sahajivad is right behind it, just like a shadow. So, this is a great peril. Actually, it's a great peril where we could be under the illusion that we're practicing Krishna consciousness, but at the same time be completely contaminated by the agents of Kali. There have been many agents of Kali who have destroyed this movement. There are agents of Kali right now who are destroying this movement, and there's those who are very influenced by the agents of Kali. So we must be very careful to keep a guard against this. So we read this in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Kali comes where? Where there's gold and? Okay. Meat eating. And where there's gold. Yeah, but see, if you read the Bhagavatam, Parishad Maharaj says that, okay, Kali, you can go to any place in my kingdom, wherever there's gambling, meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex. And Kali was like, I'm sorry, like there's no such place in your kingdom. So you're simultaneously giving me a place and not giving me a place. He said, okay, wherever people are hoarding gold, you can go there. So Kali is present in these places, but he's also present where there's a lot of gold. So we can see this over here, that when there is deviation from following the regulative principles, when those who are intimately connected with Srila Prabhupada and receive instructions from Prabhupada themselves pollute the Sampradaya by diluting it, by giving instructions which are not in line according to Srila Prabhupada, and care more about the enjoyment of bhakti than the Siddhanta, then they become agents of Kali, destroying the movement. So we should be very careful to guard against the attacks of such people. Bhakti is supreme and independent. Bhakti is supreme and independent. But the synonym of bhakti is Siddhanta. Bhakti Siddhanta is supreme and independent. We do not need anything else in order to do bhakti. We do not need anything else. We just need to hear the message of the Bhagavatam as it is. We don't need to move things around. We don't need to change things. The changing disease. This we must be very careful to guard against. When we guard against this, you probably should take your phone down there so you can hear the class, right? You can borrow someone's phone and take it. So we can see this over here, that we should be very careful against the insidious attacks of Kali. Why? Because they are very intelligent. And the minute we have a small degree of insincerity, the minute we have a small degree, and what is the definition of insincerity? A person who is following who is trying to chant and trying to follow the four regulative principles but is unable to do so is not necessarily insincere. But a person who's envious of the principles of pure devotional service is very insincere. We can see this over here. All the stuff that the Bhagavatam is saying is very heavy. It's very sobering, actually. Reading all this is very sobering. It's like, where am I really in my spiritual life? What do I really want out of this whole Krishna consciousness thing? What's the whole point? What's the whole purpose? Why am I here, really? Why am I here? So makes us question, makes us understand this. And when we go towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we want to approach Him, we should always approach Him in a mood of servitorship. We should always approach Krishna in a mood of servitorship. And we should remove all the contaminations of karma and jnana. Why? Because the definition of pure devotional service is anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma janavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktiruttama. This is the definition of pure devotional service, not anything else. So, but nowadays we come across people who were really into book distribution. They were really into book distribution. Prabhupada gave them honorific titles of being into book distribution. And now they themselves speak against it. They themselves speak against Prabhupada. They themselves speak against the principles that Srila Prabhupada laid. And they say that actually Prabhupada were here, I would teach him better. So if it happened to them, it can happen to us. We are not criticizing people for the sake of criticizing them. We are just pointing out things for the sake of education. That if it can happen to them, it can surely happen to us. If we compare the loyalty, fidelity, sincerity, and intensity that those people had back then compared to what we're doing right now, we look like fools, jokes, and losers. So if it could happen to them, it can surely happen to us. Therefore, how do we protect ourselves from all this? We protect ourselves by making sure we always stay in good association. And the best association is the Vani coming from Srila Prabhupada. The instructions coming from Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's lectures. And the sincere followers of Prabhupada who repeat exactly what Srila Prabhupada says. There's this one amazing a small snippet of a lecture of my spiritual master where he helps one understand the role of a guru. What is this?
So we very, very, very carefully have to understand that we follow our acharya because he follows his acharya. And acharya mata jay, she mata shah, tar agya langhi chali, she to our shah. You may say, well, it's his opinion, I have my opinion. But the opinion of the acharya, that is essential, that is the essence. Whoever tries to flout that becomes useless.
Becomes useless. Whoever tries to flout the orders of Srila Prabhupada becomes useless. So if we can say, they're making so many people chant the holy name, sure, even the Mayavadis are doing that. When we went to distribute books at the Rascal Shankar's concert over there, he had so many more people chanting the holy names than us. Really. He had so many more people chanting the holy name than us. So many people out there that they're like, doing all that. They're bringing so many people to Bhakti, but what are they really bringing them to? What are they bringing them to? Are they really bringing them to proper Bhakti Siddhanta, or what are they bringing them to? So we should understand. Look at things for as they are. And we should learn the science of Krishna consciousness by reading Prabhupada's books and by hearing from those who are bona fide followers of Srila Prabhupada. It requires good fortune. It requires all these things. And we need to approach a spiritual master very humbly, very submissively. We approach a bona fide spiritual master. And the bona fide spiritual master will reveal that knowledge unto us. Sadvidi pranipatena pariprashena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina sattva darshanaha. 434 Bhagavad Gita. Over here, Krishna says, just try to learn the absolute truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. He will reveal unto you the transcendental knowledge. See it over there, okay. I'm trying to get the exact. About bona fide spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So how did they see the truth? Why? They've seen the truth because they have followed one who's also seen the truth. They're following their acharyas. Otherwise, so many people have so many opinions. Tarko pratishta ashutayor vibhinnam nasav rishiryasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajano yena gatasa pantaha. That we see this over here, that there's so many people, they have so many opinions. Tarko pratishta ashutayor vibhinnam. Oh, they have so many opinions. Oh, maybe it's like this, maybe it's like that. And you won't be considered a great person unless you have your own opinion. But nasav rishiryasya matam na dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya. The secrets of Dharma, the secrets of the mysteries of devotional service are hidden in the hearts of the Mahajans. Therefore, we follow the path chalked out to us by the Mahajans. It's a very important thing to understand. The mystery of all such inquiries regarding self-realization must be put before a spiritual master who is directly the representative of the Lord, acknowledged in that disciplic succession. Such a bona fide spiritual master is able to clear up the whole thing by evidence of revealed scriptures, both direct and indirect. The bona fide spiritual master is Shastra Yonitvat. He is very expert in presenting Shastra. And whatever arguments we may present to the spiritual master, whatever doubts we may present to the spiritual master, he defeats them on the basis of Shastra. He always defeats them on the basis of Shastra, not some mundane speculation. Why? Because one day you may speculate something, you may like a particular speculation. Then the next day you may come up with another speculation. But Shastra does not change. The Acharya knows what Krishna wants and establishes it on the basis of Shastra. It's a very important thing to understand. That's why we see over here, I'm going to send you a few pictures and you could put it up there. Like, if you want to come and take the pictures yourself, because if I do it, it's going to be like a huge mistake. Okay. Wait. Yeah. This one. And hold on. I'm going to need these two also. And next page. Not going to read everything, but there's going to be sections of this. This one. Okay. So we see this over here, that this is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his mood and role as guru. Okay. Ready? Okay. Amid an atmosphere of increasing skepticism towards gurus and towards any form of authoritarian mentorship, Srila Saraswati Thakur, in defiance of both the egalitarian, zetigist, and what? Okay. And the languid guruship endemic, took an unabashedly absolute and magisterial role in relation to his disciples, to reaffirm the sacred principle upheld by all genuine acharyas, shastras, and sampradayas, that a bona fide guru is the ultimate arbiter of the absolute truth and must be accepted as good as Godhead, because he is as good as Godhead. Now, this is an amazing quote. This transcendental spiritual master is not of this world. He is not temporary or a brash of flesh and blood. He is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss, like the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master is the Supreme Lord in human form. He is not an ordinary human being. You know that we should understand this is a very important thing. The spirit Sakshat Haritvena Samatsa Shastra Uktasata Bhavyata Eva Sadbihi Kintu Praborya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. The spiritual master is the bona fide representative of the spiritual master, of the entire, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Acharya Mam Vijaniyam Naiva Manheta Karhichit. Krishna said, tells Uddhava, please understand that the spiritual master is non-different from me. So we should understand this, that the spiritual master is a very dear and intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Radha and Krishna. Because by firm surrender unto the bona fide spiritual master and by firmly following his instructions, then all unwanted things in our heart will be destroyed. We will actually be able to attain Vraja Bhakti. We can go to Vrindavan and we could do all this drama of chanting and do a big Kirtan Mela program where boys and girls are mixing and there's Mataji is dancing in front of sannyasis and all these things may be going on. But this is not what the real devotional service is. Real devotional service is something completely different. We can say that the bona fide spiritual master, one of the qualifications is that he is very expert in following the rules and regulations. You may claim yourself to be esoteric, but are you more esoteric than Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? You know that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is Nayanamani Manjari, the very manifestation of Radharani's vision of beholding Krishna. Are you more esoteric than him? No. But I hope you don't think so. Because if you really think so, then your spiritual life is in great trouble. But we see, are you more esoteric than Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? No. How did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur behave? Was he chanting and dancing in amidst a group of Matajis wearing saffron? No. Was he promoting the eating of karmi grains? I remember Vishnuchita Prabhu once went to something going on in Vrindavan, and there was a guru, and he was talking about this esoteric pastimes of Radha and Krishna playing chess and all this. And after the class got over and everyone were imbued in Vraja Prema and Vraja Bhakti, then the spiritual master, so-called spiritual master, gave everyone Britannia cookies, or what cookies do we have here? Biscuits. There's cookies too, but what's a famous cookie brand? Huh? Oreos, yeah, exactly. The spiritual master distributed Oreos, something similar to Oreos, to all the attendees as Mahaprasad. Will Krishna accept Oreos cooked by a karmi who doesn't know that he has to take bath after passing stool? Will Krishna accept? Will Krishna accept Oreos cooked by non-devotees whose mind is completely contaminated with lusty desires? Is Krishna your dog? To throw a dog biscuit, throw a biscuit and eat Krishna? Is he your dog? But Radha Krishna Bhakti and Radharani playing chess, and when she defeated Krishna, Krishna threw the chessboard at Radharani and they started, what's your qualification? Is this some cheap market gossip? Where is your surrender? Surrender, you say you love, but surrender comes first. You want to love your guru. Where is your surrender? Show me that. Then we'll talk about love and all this stuff. Where is your surrender? Where is your surrender? Let's see that. Let's see you putting your money where your mouth is. Let's see. Talk all these amazingly esoteric things, but the basic things Prabhupada wants us to do, we are not doing. Not only are we not doing, we are distributing the Mahaprasad to all the people in the Vrajadham. Is it hard to get prasadam in Vrindavan? I don't know, I've never been there, but is it hard to get prasadam? Okay. If you're a sannyasi and very influential in your guru, is it hard? No, okay. I mean, it seems like it was, because you could get it directly off the altar. That's amazing. The real Mahaprasad. And is there a dearth of it in Vrindavan? Are they really poor there? Oh, okay. So if all these things are there, why can't we facilitate proper Krishna consciousness? Why do we have to imagine ourselves to be on a superior position when we're not? And why do we have to spread this disease of Prakriti Sahajavad so rampantly? Why? Because we want everything to come so cheaply to us. Because we ourselves don't understand the importance of the role of the spiritual master. We don't understand the heavy. Guru means what? What does Guru mean? Guru means heavy. he's a fat guy. Guru's a fat guy. Is that what it means? No, what does it mean? Heavy with knowledge. The spiritual master is heavy with knowledge. This knowledge is actually what, which will weigh us down from a mental platform and help us stay fixed in the proper service of Krishna. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekiha kurunandana bahushaka shanantasya buddhayo vyavasayinam. To have resolute determination is the goal. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that this entire material world go to hell, let everything fall apart, but I will do everything possible to execute the order of my spiritual master. Guru Vakya Parama Mahatva. There's nothing more important than this. So we should understand this. We should not take things so cheaply. Immediately, if we hear that someone is giving people first and second initiation and telling them that you can drink coffee, 4 or 5 cups of coffee every day as long as it helps you stay in devotional service, that person must be rejected. They may have great possessions, great position. They may have all this thing, big drama, big group, big this, big that. What is the use? What is the use? Is your big group, big drama, all this going to save you from the pangs of not following the instruction of the acharyas properly? Maybe they may save you. Hey, if you're so lucky that you got in the association of a Mahabhagavat Vaishnava Acharya, unprecedented Vaishnava Acharya, like Srila Prabhupada, of whose caliber there may be 1 or 2 people who appear once in a day of Brahma, maybe you'll be saved. But what about your followers? What about them? Do you think they've attained the same mercy like you have? Coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada? How many people can claim to come in touch with Srila Prabhupada? Think it's a cheap thing? Think it's a cheap thing to go back home, back to Godhead? Why is Krishna saying this? Anyone who's serious and inquisitive must inquire all the way up to the point of this pure love of God. Don't mix your prakrita rasa with the ecstasy of aprakrita rasa. Don't mix the enjoyment that we feel from enjoying mundane sense objects in this material world. Don't enjoy that and equate it to Krishna's enjoyment of transcendental spiritual objects. The loving affairs between Radha and Krishna are not like the loving affairs between a young boy and a young girl in Prem Gali in Vrindavan. It's not like that. It's completely transcendental. If you want to understand spiritual sex life, then you must not even have an iota of desire for material sex life. Try that. Try that and let's see where we go. Let's see where we are when such a thing happens. That is the real understanding. You want to inquire up to the point of the Krishna Prema that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, come up to this point. Otherwise, your devotional service, your chanting of rounds, making a show of attending kirtan and doing all this is nothing more than a farce. And who is it fooling? Who is it fooling? Is it fooling Krishna? What about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Maybe Srila Prabhupada? It's fooling ourselves. Fooling ourselves. Why? Because the sincere disciple of the bona fide spiritual master inquires submissively from the spiritual master, and the spiritual master cuts down all of our misconceptions, chops it down, destroys them actually. That's why we see this over here. You can go back to.
The thing is not working.
Oh. Yeah, probably. The solution to all devices is to turn it on and turn it off, right? Most of the time. That's how things work. I don't know why that's like a universal principle or something, but it just works for every technological device. If it's not working, just turn it off and turn it on, and it just works fine. I remember when I used to have a phone in India, and every time it would not work, I would just smack it a few times, like an old Nokia phone. Smack it a few times and just start working, and okay, great, it's working, So, and the old TV is something's happening, whack it a few times, and it's okay, internet is not connecting. Oh, what a shame. Okay, then I guess we have to really pay a lot of attention now. Okay, I'll speak about a few more things before I quote this thing. So if we see this in the Shastra everywhere, it says that Tasmat Guru, the conclusion of everything, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. That we approach a bona fide spiritual master. Why? Tasmat Gurum Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. We approach a bona fide spiritual master to inquire what is our highest benefit. Is of our highest benefit to rot out here in the material world? No. What is our highest benefit really? What do we really care about in this material life? What is the most important thing? The most important thing is, yes, precisely, what else? Exactly. Falling in love with Krishna, right? Sometimes, once there was I think it was in Atlanta, they were like, all the devotees, they were sitting in the temple room, and then like the Radha Damodar crew was there, like all the book distributors, Tripurari Maharaj's airport party, Radha Damodar, all of them were there. Then there was also the scientist group, with headed by Swarup Damodar Goswami Maharaj, the Guru Coolies, like the Pujari, the devotees who are really into doing like Pujari service. All these things for them. Then the book distributors went out to Prabhupada and asked him, Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? Of course, because Prabhupada in the past many times said book distribution. So the devotees wanted to say, see, we are better than you. Like that was like the whole bhav. That's what at least one devotee told me. So then Prabhupada replied, if you love Krishna. If you love Krishna. Yes, no doubt, if you distribute books, you get a lot of special mercy. It is a service very dear to Srila Prabhupada and his faithful followers. No doubt. But the goal is to love Krishna. If we are distributing books thinking, oh, I'm better than everyone else, then we are mistaken. We may be better than most people. But that should not be our attitude. No hope. Okay. So now please open both your ears and hear what I'm going to say. Srila Saraswati Thakur revealed that above even the understanding that the Guru is as good as God, if a devotee were to rise a little higher and look up, he would find that Srimati Radharani is performing the function of Guru for those who have attained to Vraja Bhajana. The source of the Guru's grace and is the original wellspring of pure service and love. Now listen to this quote. It is going to blow your mind. It is not that Srimati Radharani is not present. Even now, we can attain her lotus feet and service. If we can see the beauty of Sri Radharani's toenails in our spiritual master's lotus feet, we will no longer think about where to find her. If we are fortunate enough, we can attain to and darshan of Sri Radharani's lotus feet in the darshan of our spiritual master's lotus feet. Because he is not different from Sri Radha and very dear to her. That is why we say very often and repeatedly, we say this. What do we say very often and repeatedly? We say this. Why is it not playing?
There is no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru. There is no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru.
This is why we say that. This is why this is our Mahavakya. For this reason. Why? Because like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying over here, if we see the beauty of Sri Radharani's toenails in our own spiritual master's lotus feet, we will no longer think about where to find her. If we are fortunate enough, we can attain service to and darshan of Sri Radharani's lotus feet in the darshan of our spiritual master's lotus feet. Because he is non-different from Sri Radha and very dear to her. In Madhurya Rasa, the spiritual master is an intimate Sakhi of Srimati Radharani. He is non-different from the daughter of Rishabhanu. Only now, look at this. Only the sincere disciples of a spiritual master in Madhurya Rasa can attain darshan of the beauty of Sri Radharani's toenails through the form of their Guru. Only the close shishyas of a spiritual master can realize that he is a manifestation of and thus non-different from the daughter of King Rishabhanu, Sri Radha. So this is what we have in store for us. That is why there is no higher mantra than the lotus feet of the Guru. Everything is obtained over there. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttama Gati Ye Prasadi Pure Sarva Ash. We must understand and remember this. There's another really amazing thing. You see, we see this especially in Bengali culture. It's very good, actually. That, when they see like a sadhu or when they see like a senior or a devotee like that, immediately, or a sannyasi or something, immediately part of not just Bengali, any culture is to offer dandavat, right? You also, like your parents are like, go touch his feet. Like, it's just like part of Vedic culture, and especially Bengalis, like they offer full-on dandavat they offer. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would see through this social like atmosphere or social like custom. He would see past this. And he would often call many such people as a Dandavat Bhakta. What does this mean, Dandavat Bhakta? It means that a person, he's very expert at offering obeisances. Have you ever seen anyone? He's very expert at offering obeisances, a Dandavat Bhakta. They're all so humble, and they offer obeisances, and like it's like a big show of like being really humble, being a Dandavat Bhakta. But then their Dandavat lies in their obeisances only. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur say they just fall upon the street, fall upon the floor like lifeless sticks. Why? Because they don't really have life. Because they'll offer Dandavat Pranam, but they will not listen to what the sadhu has to say. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur precisely says this over here. Through their culture, Bengali Vaishnavas had imbibed the laudable tendency to automatically offer dandavat to sadhus and elders. Yet, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur coined the term Dandavat Bhakta for devotees who offer him prostrations but little else, who had no interest in hearing from him for their own betterment. You see? Then, it's just like a formality. It's like a formality. Oh, I offer my obeisances unto you, Dandavat. But they have no intention of hearing from the sadhu. They have no intention of rectifying their character. They have no intention of this. We're so humble and we offer Dandavat Pranam, but like when push comes to shove, where is your surrender? Where is your surrender? It's complete nonsense. Dandavat Bhakta. We can see this over here. In other words, their Dandavat lacked in service, attitude, and surrender. You can see so many people may offer obeisances, but their obeisances lack in service and surrender. And hence, such devotees were like lifeless sticks that fell to the ground, but never did anything useful. He used to say, Dandavat Sahasrani Kare Patra Na Diyate. It's actually very funny. You offer thousands of Dandavat, but cannot give me as much as a leaf in my hand. So humble. Oh, I remember there was like this one guy, he came so humble, just like offering Dandavat like every 5 seconds and like, being like really humble and all these things, And then he was like, yes, I will definitely take upon devotional service very seriously. Definitely I'll do it. And then, I used to have social media back then. I guess I still do, but I don't use it anymore. But, I was friends with him on Facebook. And then, like, a few days after he came to the temple and, like, did a big drama of following, then the next day, he was watching the Dallas Mavericks playing against the Houston Rockets. A basketball game. Mavericks, yeah, that's what they're called, Dallas Mavericks. Yeah. Playing against the Houston Rockets. And the next week, he went to see Coldplay. That's another band playing. He was doing all these things, and I was like really shocked. I was saying, bro, you just like told me, never, I'm not going to like get into like, all this mundane sound vibration and all this and all that anymore and this and that. And then I thought, all right, at least he could do is like he could give a donation. I think it was like for the Nityananda Ram or something like that. And he said, Prabhu, I'll definitely give a donation. I say, awesome, like nice. How much would you like to give? He says, $50. This guy is wealthy. He's spending so much money on an NBA ticket is definitely more than $50, right? How much is it? Like $300, $500? But like a minimum one, like a basic one? $400? $15 for an NBA game. Wow. He knows the context, I guess. What about, Yeah, and like, we can see like the Coldplay concert, I went to these concerts, very expensive, at least definitely more than $50, definitely like 75, maybe $100. So we can have so much wealth for our sense gratification. So much wealth, Yes, I just bought a new Tesla, I just bought like a new thing. Yeah, my for my daughter's education, I'm sending her to a slaughterhouse where her very chastity will be at question. It's true. Am I right or am I right? Yeah, when you go to university, How safe are the women to keep their chastity in university? Very. Is it a very favorable? No, no. But for my daughter's university, I've saved up so much money. I just bought a new Tesla and we just although the floor had nothing wrong with it, we just redid our floor and all these things. But to sacrifice for the Sankirtan movement, no, that we really have to think. I have to ask my wife. I really have to ask my wife. I just already, although I have a new iPhone, I already got AirPods, but I also got I also got like this iPad too. Why? Because I just thought I would need it. So my son's gratification. And people get agitated when we talk like this. They think, how dare you talk like this? It's my money. Is it? Is it really? Because last time I read Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada said that money is a manifestation of Shri, and Shri belongs to Narayana, or Sita belongs to Rama. So if Sita is not being engaged in the service of Rama, my dear sir, you are a Ravana. Like to hear this? No. Don't like to hear this. They like to hear about Radha and Krishna throwing chessboard at each other while eating Oreo. But this they don't like to hear. Very unpopular. These lectures are very unpopular. These things are very unpopular. They don't sit well. This guy is so arrogant, so brutish. Why can't he just talk about Krishna Prema? We are talking about Krishna Prema. Not only we're talking about Krishna Prema, we're talking about the price you have to pay to get Krishna Prema. The least minimum thing is we don't surrender to sense gratification. That is the role of the Guru. That's the role of the bona fide spiritual master. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, desiring to purge any shards of such attitudes from his shishyas, the Dandavat Bhakti attitude. You heard the Dandavat Bhakti thing? Yeah. So, desiring to purge any shards of such attitudes from his shishyas, he declared that a disciple lacking sincere, pure, topmost devotion to the lotus feet of this bona fide spiritual master cannot be considered an actual shishya. He upheld that the scripturally prescribed culture by which disciples must respect Sri Guru as a spokesman of the absolute truth and imbibe the purport of Narottam Das' declaration of Guru Bhakti. What is Narottam Das Thakur's declaration of Guru Bhakti? What is the declaration of Guru Bhakti? Come on, there's a verse. Come on, you can guess. Precisely. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya Arna Koriho Mane Ash. This is Narottam Das Thakur's declaration of Guru Bhakti. And this is a really amazing translation. Rejecting all other desires, make one with the heart the words from the Guru's lotus mouth. And there's so much more nectar, and obviously I will not be able to go over everything over here. But I'll just like to read one more quote and leave it open for questions and comments, which I'm sure there are a lot. Okay, so one may think that, what is this guy? He's sitting on a Vyasasana and he's being worshipped by his disciples, and all these things are going on. The Vyasa Puja for spiritual master is coming up. So one may think like that. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, elsewhere he clarified how a guru accepts the role of Vyasa by maintaining an attitude of servitorship to Vyasa and his representatives. On the occasion of his Vyasa Puja, Madhvacharya discharged the function of Acharya by sitting on the Vyasasana, expressing their loyalty to him. His followers explicate the purport of the Srimad Bhagavatam by sitting on the Vyasasana, according to the tradition of receiving sacred texts in the Guru Parampara. Considering one's own lack of qualification by ordinary judgment, it is forbidden to sit on the Vyasasana. Yet, may I never become inimical to the service of my Guru, of the Guru's lotus feet, by succumbing to the evil tendency to disobey his order. Speaking softly or ceasing to speak is not the qualification for sitting on the Vyasasana. By sitting upon it, I am not rejecting the teaching to be humbler than a blade of grass. I am not under the control of malefic desires for establishing material position and thus contradicting the statements of Guru. I crave neither worldly criticism nor praise in remuneration for my actions. Anyway, that's so amazing. So much more amazing nectar here. But okay. One more quote. And he promised that if those who remain faithful to him, you know what? Srila Saraswati Thakur regularly assured his Shishyas that simply by adhering to his instructions, every one of them could attain Vaikuntha in this life. He says, one can attain perfection in one lifetime by giving up independence, being surrendered, and sincerely worshipping the Lord under the Guru's guidance. And he promised that if those who remained faithful to him did not attain the topmost goal in this lifetime, and he promised that if those who remained did not attain, then if required, he would come birth after birth to help them. He would also say, all of you should finish your business in this lifetime. Why wait for another? Become fully Krishna conscious and go back to Godhead this very time. Don't risk waiting for another life, for there is no certainty. If we do not attain liberation in this lifetime, we will have to again take birth. Why is it that we do not even wish to become free from such an inconvenience? We may not always have an equivalent opportunity. As long as one is alive, take advantage and worship Hari in the association of Vaishnavas. We will not remain in this sphere for very long. If we relinquish these bodies while continuously performing Hari Kirtan means? That's right. That will be the fulfillment of bearing them. So much more can be said, but I'll stop over here. And of course, it's not the end of the seminar. So if there's any questions or comments, we can take them now.
Thank you for that class. Like that. Okay. So,
Want to turn this around, please?
one aspect you were speaking on, like this, people who chant the holy name. A lot of these people study the works of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then they get into this whole bhava of, you have to, the chanting the pure name, and once you chant, then you transcend so many things. But actually, when you read it, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that actually, when the clearing stage is done and the anarthas clear up, and when it comes to the platform of chanting the pure name, one must follow the rules and regulations that have been set down by Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra in order to achieve Krishna Prema.
Yeah.
So it's not this.
We don't become transcendental to the rules and regulations.
There's an idea that once you start pure name, then you're good. Then you don't have to follow your guru. Like that incident that I told you about a few years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, the guru is just there, but once you come to the platform of pure devotion service, then you're directly serving Radharani.
Yeah, you don't need. Initially, after some time, they'll say you don't even need Radha. You can directly serve Krishna. It's called Mayavad.
So, and this Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a little bit more of this. This is called Pratibimba Namabhasa.
Yeah.
So it speaks about how the sadhak, the person who wants to chant Hare Krishna, he sees others with firm faith, and because of that he becomes enthusiastic to chant. But because he has so much desire in the heart, he tries to chant with faith, some attachment, but it's not real. It's pretending.
Yeah.
And then, but because that material desire is so there strongly, if he comes in touch with Mayavad, then he's completely finished.
Yeah.
Because he becomes attracted to it.
Yeah, I mean, it is like, it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous position we're in. If we want to enjoy Krishna, it's a very dangerous place to be, actually. It's a very dangerous place to be. It's one thing to have weakness of heart, but it's another thing to outright, just straight up, ban these guys from the temple, just don't see them. Just get these guys, banish. Like that's what the Mayavadis do. You can become greater than God when you completely ignore his existence and think you're better than him, or think that he doesn't exist. Remove the scores of the world Sankirtan newsletter. Let no one see it. Why? But for what reason? We understand. Anything else? Yeah, Jita, go ahead.
There's this statement that we discussed. We must inquire up to the point of love of God. So I was just wondering, once you get to that point of pure love of God, according to this statement, it seems like one doesn't have to inquire anymore because one is already there.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
You see, you just see our acharyas there on that stage. You know, like, did they not make inquiries when they met their spiritual master? Obviously, they didn't. You know, so there's like, it's not like, now I've become a pure devotee. Now I don't need it. It's not like that. You know, it's like anyone who's a pure devotee thinks that they are not a pure devotee. And so we understand like that. It's simple. You know. Yes.
Is the inquiry more on the basis of service now?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's like the inquiry is not like doubt. So Guru Maharaj, I have doubt about like this argument that the Mayavadi sannyasi made. Or what's not, but like it's more of a doubt about like, you know, refining their service to Radha and Krishna. Yes, Jayananda. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you again for the class. It was fantastic. With much of our world now being split between reality, all Maya still, and then virtual reality, I see a lot of Hare Krishna content. How do you differentiate between people just posting? Because there is some type of joy when you get a lot of likes. That's undeniable. How do you differentiate between posting these, it can be very spiritual, but they might post out of a desire just for their own internal fame. And then how do you not get sucked into that?
As far as we're concerned, we only want 2 likes. 1 like from the Guru and the other like from Krishna. We don't care for anyone else's likes, actually. And, we know what is right and what is not according to the law books. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So this we use as a measurement for everything that we see. This is how we see to what degree are they bona fide and to what degree they're not. So once we have a proper understanding of what's in Prabhupada's books, then, we could move forward in our Krishna consciousness. So that is the way we distinguish reality from illusion. Is that okay?
No, that's good.
Okay.
You're speaking on like the sadhus who do all this kirtan and it's like Prabhupada wrote in that purport, I think it was a purport that I was reading at one point, how the attraction towards material desire and material life, it destroys the opportunity for devotional service. And like we were looking at these videos yesterday online, and it's really scary. It's like it's the dham, it's the place where you go to perform devotional service. And if you go there as a neophyte, if you go there without proper understanding, your devotional service will be completely destroyed.
Dhamma parat to the max. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I have personal experience, like going there without proper understanding, and it's just like, I could have been completely finished.
Yeah.
So how, like, why is, I guess, like, there's just no level of, something against it, like, this, I always ask the question, like, what the hell is going on in our society?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that this is, like, allowed to go on by the authority? The authorities themselves are engaging in it.
Yeah.
But how is it that people just become okay with it?
How is it that, it's like, it's the norm to enjoy in this material world. It's a norm to forget Krishna in this material world. That's the norm.
Can you fix this?
Yeah, I got it. It's a norm to forget Krishna. It's a norm to not be surrendered to Krishna. It's a norm to enjoy Krishna. It's a norm to enjoy everything in this material world. So when you found the most enjoyable object, Krishna, why not enjoy it? How is it, Asatsanga Tyagi Vaishnavacharya, So many of these people, they go and they respect, like all these bogus Mayavadi sannyasis. Like you see, like they go and they offer their respects and the Mayavadi sannyasi gives him like a special cloth and he feels very happy that he received it. These are like our enemies. We'll be cordial, but like, shoot, like, offering them a position of respect above like your own sampradaya, that is disgusting. And it's not like, all right, you made a show and then right away you distributed a Bhagavatam set to them and took the, and made them, engage them directly in devotional service. It's not like you did that either. So how does it happen? This is the standard thing. This has been happening since time immemorial. Wherever this pure Krishna consciousness, these things come about.
Because certain of them also, like, because we were just speaking yesterday and speaking about how, in order for us not to get to that point, we must study Srila Prabhupada's books. But all of them, a lot of the sannyasis are scholars in Prabhupada's books, in studying them, and they've explained them and gone through them quite. Like you hear some of their lectures, and it's like they've got quite a lot of like they've studied. You can see that they've studied Prabhupada's books. They've actually like whatever and gone through them and maybe continuing to go through them. So it's like it's quite scary in that regard. Like going into the
they'll quote
future.
shlokas around us, right?
Yeah, going into the future, like we're doing something, trying to like more or less go against everything that is preached for
Everything.
now.
Yeah.
And so, like, how is it that the leaders amongst the movement that we are creating, we stay, pure in that regard, like we don't get deviated, because it seems like even these people they're much greater scholars than any of us. So, but they're coming to this standard of just like degrading the movement, forgetting the mission, and just kind of becoming comfortable.
Yeah, jnana vijnana sahitam yajnatva moksha shesha bhat. That it's not just enough to have knowledge, like, oh wow, okay, great, but where is the application of that knowledge? I mean, for anyone with common sense, they say, this is bogus like hell. Like, what the heck are you doing? What is this? What is going on? Again, you see, there's a few things which make you bona fide. Okay, Shastra is the center, but there's Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and Aitihya. They may be learned. Are they more learned than Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? No way. Are they more learned than Jiva Goswami? No way. How did they act? How did they behave? Parampara jano balo mate. How did they act? How did they behave? We see this. It's not like, very expert at like doing this and doing that and the other thing. But there's this slight little thing which is completely different from what Srila Prabhupada said. It doesn't work like that actually. It's common sense. And then maybe expert in a few things here and there. But are they really expert in presenting the Siddhanta properly? Are they expert in understanding Bhakti Siddhanta? And Palena Parichiyate, what is the quality of their disciples? What is the quality of the disciples? So many things. It's pretty obvious, pretty common. We have to just see what it is, and to just be very strict, in following and all this. And the minute you see that a sannyasi is like constantly associating with women, that's like a big red flag. I don't give a fig how many shlokas you know, or like whatever the heck. It literally doesn't matter. Actually, what are you doing? I was in New York, and there was a sannyasi talking to a Mataji, and then when the conversation got over, the Mataji kissed his cheek in Union Square, in front of. I was thinking, this is happening in front of me in Union Square. What's happening behind the closed doors? Should I imagine? Should I pretend like it didn't happen? What am I supposed to do? And then when I approached the sannyasi and I was like, Maharaj, what is this? And he just slapped me. I said, all right, okay. I guess I should, what the hell, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm definitely not going to slap him back. I could, but I'm not going to. But, I was just really surprised, actually. I was really surprised. I asked him, you're alone with this little, you're alone with a girl, and there's been so much history in a movement, wouldn't it be? Because I was standing next to him. He's like, yeah, why are you standing here? And I said, Maharaj, when it was done, I told him, Maharaj, I just thought it was not appropriate, for you to be in a room alone with a woman. I didn't want people to criticize your character, and I just got slapped. And I was like, all right, school of hard knocks, buddy. Sometimes these things happen. So. We just have, good luck is needed, good fortune is needed. And, we should be very careful to not make Krishna consciousness into sense gratification. That should be very, very, the topmost thing. Where Vairagya, Mahaprabhu Bhaktargan Vairagya Pradhan Yahan Deki Priti Haya Gaura Bhagavan. Where is the renunciation? Where is the renunciation? We should see all these things. Anything else? Yes, Janardhan Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I was reading in this Krishna Consciousness, the topmost yoga system, there's this section about the qualifications of a guru and what a guru is. And it was talking about this concept about how the guru itself is one, but it kind of manifests itself in different presentations to the
Not itself, herself.
disciple. Yeah. So what is the proper understanding of this? Because we can be very attached to the specific form of our spiritual master, and we understand that the body of the spiritual master isn't material, but it's actually completely spiritual. Does this change, or what's
so we
what's,
understand,
the proper understanding of this?
we see this over here, that the verse we were reading yesterday, What was the verse? Like, the pure devotees are simultaneously able to see Krishna as a super soul and like seeing the person Krishna himself. So we see this and understand it from this point of view that yes, the spiritual master is completely transcendental and all these things. And spiritual master is one by ultimately because he's a representative of Srimati Radharani or Nityananda Prabhu, depending upon the rasa that a person has. This Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about this in Jaiva Dharma. There were like two disciples and they're following very, very strictly. And one of the disciples saw the spiritual master as like a very intimate association of Lalita Saki, of a very dear associate of Srimati Radharani. Another one of them saw him as Subha, a very dear associate of Lord Balaram. And both their conceptions were right. But the spiritual master, he is one in the sense that, like, in the instructions that have been given is the same instructions that are being given, and we also see and we understand that yes, the spiritual master, he is coming in this bona fide disciplic succession, and we should become attached to our spiritual. It's not like some impersonal thing, like anyway, he's just another guru or something like that. But that mercy of that spiritual master, the mercy of the guru principle is one. Do you understand? So we understand it from that point of view. Anyway, actually, like, to be honest, this is a very big subject matter. And it's hard to sum it up like this, but that's the summary of it. Is that okay? Anything else? Yes.
This is from previous classes, like it's a question about like the whole seminar, but we were speaking about how the jivas come from like the limited energy of the Supreme, and I had asked from Krishna, and I had asked a question about this, and you answered it very, very nicely. But I was reading the other day in this teachings of Kapila Dev. It was speaking about how there's actually unlimited living entities, and Krishna's still able to provide from all of them.
Yeah.
So is it still part of the limited energy?
Krishna unlimitedly has a limited potency also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like it isn't just like part of both, but it's like just part of the limited potency, but it's like
Parasya Shaktir Vividhai Vishuyate Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. That, let's just say you have like $1 billion, you can have, and this is like this example, every example has a limitation, but how many, you can have $1 billion $1. Right? That's the way of understanding it. If you have if you have like $1 billion you can have $1 billion $1, or you can have $1 billion $1 bills, and you could have like whatever, $1 billion divided by 10 is what, like 100 million? What is it? Right? 100 million $10 bills, and you could break it up like that. So you understand it from that point of view. Is that okay, Jananu?
Yeah. Everything in this universe is infinite, but nothing is created or destroyed. It is all part of Krishna. So in that it is limited, in that it's all Krishna, but in that it is unlimited.
I'm sorry,
infinite.
what are you saying? How is everything in this universe
you compared
limited?
it to the money, and you lost me there. But everything would be
No,
infinite.
everything is not infinite. Are you infinite?
No. Krishna is infinite.
Krishna is
That's
infinite.
what I just said.
So Krishna has, if you read the Shastra, you'll understand over here that Krishna has unlimited and limited potencies. That's what it means to be omnipotent. He has both. So the omnipotent person, Krishna, has unlimited energies, like all his Vishnu Tattva expansions and incarnations and all these things. And Krishna also has limited potencies, where the living entities are limited. They're not unlimited. So we understand that there's a difference.
Oh, yeah,
It's called Dvaita. So everything in this universe is not unlimited. There's certainly limited things in the universe.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning in this universe. I'm saying his potencies. I'm not speaking about my material existence. That's very limited. But
Not just you, but anything in this material world. And usually when we usually, like the standard, over here is like when devotees make comments, they make references to verses and quotes from Srila Prabhupada, that's usually the standard here. So, we are very, very open to discussing, but if you could give references and make a comment, then that would be very helpful actually. Because your thing would have more ground,
Yeah.
Unless it's based on logic or something like that. But
it's based on curiosity. I want to learn more.
yeah, what's the question?
is I was clarifying. You lost me when you started to talk about money.
Okay.
In terms of his potency, that wasn't as helpful to me.
Okay,
So I was
because
saying
okay,
if you could
'cause
clarify.
this was, I guess you didn't understand the context of the question. That we see over here that if okay, so Krishna has unlimited potencies, and amongst the unlimited potency, he also has limited potency. The example is that if you have $1 billion, all your $10 problems are solved, right? So like you may not have a problem where you may have to spend billions of dollars to solve the problem, but whatever $10 problems that you have, you can clearly solve them. You can clearly solve them, and you understand them like that. So similarly, Krishna, because and within $1 billion, $10 is there, $5 is there. All these numbers are there within within $1 billion. So Krishna's limited potencies are like that. The living entities, they have, Krishna is limited and Krishna is infinite, Krishna is unlimited, and the living entities are limited. So Krishna's unlimited potency is there, and amongst the unlimited potencies of Krishna, there's also limited potencies, and the living entities are like that. Is that okay?
Yeah, that makes no sense now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Anything else? Mataji, you have something? Yeah. You've been trained well. Good. Yeah. What's the question?
My question is, if we're sworn enemies of the Mayavadis, often like when I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it says like a Vaishnava has no enemies, even if somebody considered a Vaishnava enemy. A Vaishnava has no enemies. So like, what does that mean?
So that's a very simple thing, that the Vaishnava does not take any personal insult to himself. Like Lord Chaitanya says, we should be humbler than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. But that doesn't mean that we're so humble that someone is coming and blaspheming our sampradaya, or blaspheming our guru, or blaspheming the devotees. And we're not so humble that we just stay humble. To be humble is different than to be a pacifist. We're not pacifists. So people think to be a humble means to be a pacifist. But we understand that, Vaishnavas have no enemy. But if someone is criticizing, let's just say you really love your mom, right? So now I told you your mom doesn't exist. That's an illusion. You won't get angry? You'll get angry. Same thing. The Mayavadis are saying Krishna doesn't exist. Actually, it's all an illusion. Obviously, we'll get angry. If someone is saying something about you, if you were like a self-controlled yogi, which you're almost on the verge of becoming, but some may say maybe you're not there yet. But if you're a self-controlled yogi, someone is saying something to you, you'll tolerate it, whatever, no big deal. But then if someone is saying something to the other devotees, then you'll get angry. Same thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Anything else? Okay, all right. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.